welcome to Sunshine Cathedral's Queer God Squad. It's Thursday, August 21st, 2025. I am Bishop Darrell Watkins, the Senior Minister of the Sunshine Cathedral. With me today is my husband, Bishop Robert Griffin, and joining us is Reverend Dr. Ann Atwell. We are the Queer God Squad. Visit sunshinecathedral.org to learn more about us.
Queer God Squad was created by Hotspots Happening Out to support our mission to explore the value of faith in the LGBTQ community. There is no other progressive queer religious panel discussion show like this in the entire world. You can support this program by liking and sharing it.
In 2025, we are celebrating the 40th anniversary of Hotspots magazine, the 5th anniversary of Queer News Tonight, with nearly 10,000 stories and 10 million views in 2024. We are the largest nonprofit LGBTQ media organization in America, and we encourage you to support our mission to inform, entertain, and educate our community and allies. This is the Sunshine Cathedral perspective. Asylum systems fail LGBTQ people fleeing violence. Harsh immigration policies disproportionately endanger LGBTQ plus asylum seekers already fleeing persecution in their home countries. Many face violence, discrimination, and even death penalties based on their sexual orientation or gender identity. Restrictive border measures and asylum bans trap queer people in perilous transit countries where they are vulnerable to further abuse, kidnapping, and sexual assault. The asylum process itself often lacks cultural sensitivity, forcing individuals to, quote, prove their identity through demeaning interrogations. Detention centers can be particularly brutal, with reports of harassment, denial of medical care, and physical abuse. LGBTQ plus people are 97 times more likely to be sexually harassed in detention camps than their cis-het counterparts. Cruel and insensitive policies not only deny a safe haven, but also inflict profound psychological trauma, exacerbating the suffering of those seeking fundamental human rights. Rights that are innate and inalienable, not something that needs to be earned. This is a human rights issue and a social ethics issue that people of faith need to address. You know, right off the bat, I detest the notion of even asylum seekers, that if we respected everybody for who they are, regardless of who they are, there would not be a need for these types of programs in our world. And for those folks who are having to go through those systems, I just feel horrible for those who are looking for hope somewhere else. And this is what they have to go through in order to get there. Mm-hmm. The torture, the denial of medical care, the denial of access to many things, and to live through that. And then once they get through it, then have to deal with the trauma of where they were trying to get to and come out in a place of hope. It is a process I would not wish upon anyone. And I don't think, as a friend of mine said not too long ago, unless you have been an asylum seeker, you will never know what it means to be an asylum seeker or be in search of freedom and a better place for whatever reason. And of course, you know, this focuses around queer people. And of course, you know, we hear the stories of queer people are isolated, singled out for various things when they're in these detention camps. And so it is a social policy, it's an ethics policy, it's a human rights issue, and more attention needs to be drawn to that. I really do think by the faith community and not faith community shying away from it because of whatever perceived politics may go along with it. To hell with the politics, let's go in and help our people.
Yeah, that we have sacralized cruelty almost it's a damning indictment of people. I mean, people of faith, but you shouldn't have to believe in any sort of God or be involved in any sort of ritual or tradition or creed. None of that. We should see people hurting and want to make that better. Mm-hmm. That's just what being a person is, and we're failing. We're failing the being a person test. When people are running for their lives, that there are people. I can't stand it. I just can't stand it. There are people right now. Because you hear the BS. Well, they should come the right way. Well, no, that's not what it's about, because you're picking them up in the courtroom where they're trying to do it the right way. Mm-hmm. So it's not about that. Or, well, we just can't afford everybody. We are maybe the wealthiest country in the world. If we reallocated our resources appropriately, we could accommodate a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Our whole myth of our whole nation was that people came here from all over and made us what we are. And then we decided, okay, now we got ours, we're cutting it off. What?
Yeah.
Not to mention there were people already here when we got here and we destroyed their lives. So, but yeah, no sense of this sort of playing it forward or whatever. Or they're taking our jobs. Well, no, they're taking jobs that weren't being filled otherwise.
Yeah.
Or they're taking, they're just freeloading. They won't work. Well, how come you're rounding them up on their job sites?
Yeah.
Like, so everything you say is just a lie. What it is you don't want to help people because they practice different religion, or they have a different skin color, or they speak a different language, or whatever your hang up is. And then within that, if they're also queer or trans, it's their lives are that much more horrible. And being queer or trans may be why they're trying to get out of that place.
Mm-hmm.
And to be sent back, where they live months maybe in a detention center and then be sent back to the living hell they were trying to get away from. And for us to all do that, in between our Sunday morning worship experiences, it is unconscionable. It is unforgivable. So yeah, we need to. And I had noticed, mentioning, Jesus' family were refugees, and Moses has led refugees through the wilderness looking for safety, and Joseph's family were refugees because he'd wound up against his will in a place, but he rose to prominence and he brought them over. That none of that should matter. We don't need one Bible story
Nope.
to be good people. Never mind that they are in the Bible, but we don't need that. We shouldn't. You're ignoring it anyway. So to hell with the Bible. Just try not to be an asshole. Our world desperately needs us to not be an asshole. And there are just too many lives being ruined needlessly when all we have to do is say, come, if you don't break laws and you pay taxes and you work, glad to have you. And glad that you're safe now. And I can't believe that it's just not that easy.
Right. This truly is a human rights issue the whole way around. And we need more people. We need communities of faith to speak out. If you go to any community of faith, many communities of faith,
Yeah.
right? And, they will tell you that all people are children of God. All people are children of God. All people have sacred value. Then why are they not speaking up? Why is nothing happening? These people are running for their lives. It's devastating. It's destroying. And you're right. We don't know what it's like to be an asylum seeker. But God help us. My goodness.
Yeah. If you've ever just tried to get out of a bad marriage.
Exactly.
Or try to, you're an abused kid and you're just trying to find a safe, go live with grandma or something. If just that little of danger.
Mm-hmm.
Well, imagine your whole family and you're up against a whole country.
Right.
And then the country you go to won't take. I mean, if you've ever experienced danger, just multiply that by 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll have some idea, but we have lost the ability to empathize. We've lost the ability to care unless it affects us.
Right.
And that's not what being a good person's about. And that's today with the Queer God Squad.
Before we go, I want to invite you to like and share this episode on your social media. And I also welcome you to find Sunshine Cathedral on Facebook or Instagram.
You can also like our bishop pages on Facebook. My page is Bishop Robert Griffin, D-Men, and Darrell's is Bishop Darrell Watkins, D-Men. We're also on TikTok. Remember to visit sunshinecathedral.org frequently. There you will find episodes of Bishop Talk, where Bishop Darrell and I interview queer religious leaders and activists and scholars. We've also added a weekly lectionary discussion that you can find on the website and on the socials.
Thank you for joining the Queer God Squad today. We're here daily at 3 p.m. to have some fun and to discuss what our LGBTQ community is talking about. Sunshine Cathedral is the world's leading progressive queer church. Progressive, queer, and God are words that naturally should go together. Remember that. We're all in this together. Also remember, you are God's miracle and not God's mistake. Until next time, we are the Queer God Squad. Goodbye.